Yo, those birds.
Still watching.
It adds to like the ambiance of where we are.
He's like, it's so peaceful.
Yo, that shit's funny.
Like the birds are high, we're high. Like, not that high.
No. Yo, they're gonna think. Yo, I mean, we are on the tallest high rise in between Miami and New York.
Yep.
Yo, this is the Bean Dip, where bean dips into the minds of those aspiring to be great. I have the Joe Diaz with me.
Yep.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? My name's Joe Diaz. I go by DJ Diaz. I live here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah, that's pretty much me right now. I guess you'll ask the rest of the questions.
That's it?
I don't want to cut into your questions and stuff.
Oh, nah, bro.
From New York. Been living in Charlotte now since 2007. And I've just been DJing for the past 3 years now here in Charlotte. So full-time 3 years. So
Full-time for 3 years. When was it that you first started?
Started right during COVID, man. So my thing was I was an engineer before all of this. And I got tired of sitting behind a desk all day. So, like, my escape was, like, I worked from home before everybody else did, before COVID and all that. So I hated it. I hated being stuck at home. I had a penthouse apartment and all that stuff here in Charlotte. And it's like, after 8 hours of work, I wanted to get out of my apartment. And it's like, you're paying all this money and you want to leave this place? It's like, come on. So that's where I started bouncing here in Charlotte.
So you were a bouncer, and so this was in COVID time.
Yeah, no, right before COVID. So I started bouncing here in Charlotte just to have that social aspect to work and stuff like that. So got in, started bouncing, and from there met a lot of people, made a lot of connections. A lot of people think bouncers are just bouncers, man. They're the key to everything.
Right. I mean, you interact with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis.
Every day, yeah.
The more I always say this, and I don't know why I say this in every podcast, but like the more hands you shake, the more money you make.
For sure.
And I've been saying that in every podcast because every time I interview someone, they always talk about like networking.
Yeah.
You know, networking is king. It's not about what you know. It's who you know.
After a while, it became like less about meeting girls and fighting all the time, and it became more about, okay, who do I meet this weekend? You know?
Right.
And you would meet CEOs, a bunch of people that were coming from different places. More than anything for me is like I got to network with all the DJs in the city.
Right.
So by the time I wanted to be a DJ, everybody wanted to help me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you already had your foot in the door.
I had my foot in the door, and if anybody fucked with the DJs, or can we cuss on here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're good.
I was going to say, anytime somebody fucked with the DJs, they had to go through me at that point. So all the DJs had my respect because I was taking care of them.
Okay.
And as soon as I said, hey, I'm going to go into DJing, they automatically said, oh, we want to help. Let's do it. Right. Yeah.
So when you were doing the engineering, what kind of engineering was that?
A network engineer.
Oh, so you were just work from home. Man, yeah. See, I couldn't really imagine because one of my goals is to live in a high rise because of the rain, really, like the rain on the high windows. Yeah. So I couldn't imagine really wanting to like leave because you're stuck there.
Right.
You know,
it's
so
like you're supposed to enjoy this apartment. You're supposed to enjoy the luxury living. And then all of a sudden you're like stuck here. And it's like after 8 hours, I got to go. I got to get out.
Right.
So sometimes it worked. It helped because like I got to meet a lot of people in the city like that besides the nightlife. So like I met people like Charlotte Free Skate or Let's Skate Charlotte. So I would ride my motorcycle with a bunch of people and then just have a great time overall with everybody throughout the city. So I got to get known like that throughout here.
Okay, yeah, no, that's dope. So when you started doing your DJing, what made you want to do that? Because just the people you're hanging around with?
No, I mean, I had 20 years of music, man. So I started playing guitar, piano, ukulele when I was like 13 years old. And so I went over to one of my friend's house. We had a bunch of DJ equipment there. It wasn't mine or anything like that. One of my friends, he liked to play around. And I got on the board and I started mixing a little bit here and there, and I didn't know what I was doing, but music-wise, it all came in, and it worked out. I started mixing. He said, bro, you can really mix it. Like, you can do it.
You were just messing around?
I was just playing around with it, yeah. But, like, the technical part of me plus the music background, it was easy.
It went, like, hand in hand.
Exactly. So by the time I was done that night, I had ordered another board and I ordered my MacBook and everything. I was like, done.
No, that's dedication. So how old were you at that point?
I was 29, 30 when I ordered my first board.
Oh, damn. I
Yeah.
thought you were like 29, 30 now.
No, I'm 33 now. Yeah, so
Nah, you look young, bro.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So did you ever play like DJ Hero or anything?
DJ Hero was dope, man. Like I always loved it, but like Guitar Hero was probably the best one, you know. And it's just because again I had that whole guitar background. DJ Hero was cool, but it was too repetitive. It felt fake, you know. So I didn't like it at the time. But definitely a badass game. I loved it.
Yeah, I never got a chance to play because I was more so into like guitar because I play guitar as well.
Okay, hell yeah.
So I got Guitar Hero and I was just like always playing it. So now like we play Rock Band and stuff.
Hell yeah.
But I always wondered about DJ Hero. Now I had the opportunity to ask.
Yeah.
So you just had the background in music. Did you make your own music or was it just more so for fun?
Just more for fun, man. Like I said, I started with Spanish guitar. So I used to live in Puerto Rico. We lived there for about 10 years. And so my teacher, he was a straight Spanish guitar, like from Spain.
Right.
And I learned all the Spanish music. And by the time I moved here in 2007, I was like trying to play for my friends and stuff. And they're like, we don't really mess with this. I was playing like classical music and shit like that. And everybody's like, do you know any Taylor Swift or something like that?
Yo.
So it's super different. And that's where we got it.
Yeah, so all the background from your music is what led to becoming a DJ after you bought your first piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So when you bought it, how much did you invest when you initially started?
Starting out, the MacBook, like I already had one from work, thankfully. So that was like $2,000 right there. But my first board was only like $300 board.
No, that's not bad.
Yeah, no. So I started playing with people like Bryson Ryder and Skater Gator here in Charlotte. Bryson Ryder, he's been playing here in Charlotte for years. And by the time I got into it, Bryson was a good friend of mine at that point, and he's like, dude, I'll help you play. So he used to come to my house every day.
Oh, dang, that's cool.
And we would just play and rep everything, bro. And we used to do a lot of back-to-back. So I got all my skills that way. Kind of like Jake Paul, how everybody says, oh, you haven't been in this long enough.
Right.
He put all his hours in the gym. I put all my hours in.
Right.
And I made sure I just killed it. And, like, I did tons of free shows. I used to play in like, the park and all that stuff. I used to go out to Ramar Beaton Park, and I used to set up my speakers out there and literally play in the park for people and all that stuff. And I would build my little crowd and have fun.
No, that's cool.
But that's how I got the exposure to know what people liked, what they wanted to see. And realistically, that's how you learn how to read a crowd.
Right, because you are an open format DJ, which means you don't have a specific genre, so you kind of have to go in with what people are feeling.
Exactly.
So how do you know exactly what to play in that given time?
So
what's your go-to?
Demographics is everything, right? So obviously you see this type of person, you know they're gonna flow to that guy. You know, you see some cowboy hat, you're gonna see that. Black dude, you're gonna see hip hop. Spanish people, you're gonna go right into Spanish music.
Right.
So you just try it out, man. Before you know it, and it's not to say that those are the only lanes they're gonna go to, right?
Right.
Like, for example, black people love Spanish music, and they get into it. And Afrobeats has a lot to do with hip hop and all that too, and reggaeton. They're very close to each other. So by the time you start playing this song or that song, you notice, okay, that person's moving. All right, she's shaking her ass over there. Okay, let's start making her move more. Now, by the time that she's moving, she's going to get that person moving. Everybody's looking at her now. Now it's a party. So then you keep reading that crowd, and before you know it, you can make anything happen.
So everything becomes synchronized at that point.
Yeah, bro.
So you kind of have to, I mean, you have to be real meticulous with the crowd and kind of have to watch it.
You also got to know your library. You got to know where you're going, have an idea, you know, and build it up from there.
So when you're picking through your songs, do you have like a set playlist, or do you just think of songs on the fly?
All off the top of the head, yeah.
Oh.
Some stuff you already know that they flow well together. You know, like, literally you just know that this song goes right with this song.
Right.
So as you're playing, you already know, hey, let's do this. But then it gets into the creativity part.
Right, because you have to be well-versed.
Exactly. So now I can take something like Soulja Boy and mix it into Jay-Z or something like that, or even go reggaeton into country.
Right.
Like, literally being open format, you have to be able to blend those type of things. So having that versatility helps a lot more. Yeah.
So being that you're an open format DJ, what is the one thing that separates you from like San Holo? Because San Holo's a DJ, right?
Yeah.
And like like Dead Mouse 5, is it, or is it Dead
Yeah,
Mouse?
so
I don't know what it is.
Dead Mouse, yeah. So both of them are big producers, but they're more
Oh,
into
so they're producers.
yeah, so they produce their own music, and by the time you get to their level, man, you could play just your tracks, and everybody's gonna be there for you.
Right.
You
Oh, so
know?
they started doing like the open format stuff.
I'm sure they started with open format, but more than anything, they got into their genre of EDM, and they stayed in there.
Oh.
You know, and not to say that they can't DJ, because they're amazing DJs.
Right.
I'm a huge San Holo fan.
Yeah, me too. That's why
yeah.
I brought him up.
Yeah, no, I love his
I like
music.
him and Kygo. And
Yeah, I love that melodic stuff like
mm-hmm.
that. Marshmallow's another great one for me.
I like Nightmare too a little bit.
Nightmare's freaking crazy. Nightmare's from Charlotte too.
Really? I saw him live
dope.
in Vegas one time.
Yeah, I did too.
Randomly.
I saw him in Omnia, and dude puts on an amazing show.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm really not really in tune with that type of music, but I've grown to like enjoy it more because I more so look at it as a form of art.
Yeah.
Instead of music, you know, when you feel something, it's a lot different than when you hear something.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, like, the whole industry's shifting, right? So back then, people would go to a bar just to see that guy with the guitar and play and all that.
Right.
Everybody wants to go now to see the DJ.
Mm-hmm.
The bar is getting more money out of that DJ than they are out of that one guy that only plays one genre of music. That's amazing, probably, but he fits a niche crowd, maybe.
Right.
When you have an open format DJ, you can literally go anywhere.
Yeah, you can go.
That DJ can change the vibe from here to there. I can go from EDM to R&B and still make it work.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a crazy transition.
It is. But as long as you know how to do it, you can make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So what are the steps you took to practice?
Like I said, playing every day outside, random people, free shows all the time.
Do you still practice like currently now that you've...
Not as much as I used to, man, just because it's now become more work oriented. Mm-hmm. Like I have to have this, but as a DJ, we have to go through record pools. So our record pools is where we pull all our music and stuff. So we're constantly listening to remixes and all this. By the time you realize that you got these amount of songs, then you start building a set. You know, like you can go in, like you were asking earlier about a playlist. So I can have one that's all Jersey Club, right? And then I go in there and start mixing some Jersey Club up. And then before you know it, you move on to EDM, you move on to bachata, you move on to whatever you want. But being able to have that versatility is just going to kill it anywhere. So.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as getting booked, where do you normally do your, what is the correct term for when you're booked somewhere? Is it like I play?
Yeah, no, we get gigs. So
gigs. So okay. So where do you normally get your gigs at?
So most of my gigs all go through our collective. I play for 2429. So 2429 is one of the collectives here in Charlotte, probably the biggest one. You've probably heard of Radical Grove here in Charlotte.
I have not.
So Radical Grove, they handle some of the, I guess you could call it cooler spots, because they got stuff like Lost and Found or Para and stuff like that. But 2429, we got the bigger spots. Mm-hmm. So we have stuff like Gin Mill, Tiber Creek, which recently just closed. But we would play for crowds of 800 to 1,500 people, sometimes 5,000 people out of Tiber Palooza. You know, so...
What? That's great. So you played for like an audience of 5,000 people.
Oh, yeah, easily at Tiber Palooza. We've played great times over there. On top of that, the festivals that we do. So
you do festivals too?
Yeah, so I'm one of the Breakaway DJs. We currently play with Breakaway through the Silent Disco on their side. And it sounds a little weird when you say Silent Disco at a festival, but people go crazy over Silent Disco. They love
it's with the headphones.
They put on the headphones, and they have an option to listen to 3 different DJs out there. So literally, if you don't like the first vibe, switch it to the second one, switch it to the third one. And no matter what, you and your friends are going to have a cool time. But for example, we've done Silent Disco over at Tiber Creek. Uh-huh. Tiber Creek, we had probably a couple thousand people, 2,000, 3,000 people for a Tiber Palooza. And we did it at nighttime so you can see all the lights.
Yeah.
So when all these girls start seeing that everybody who's in blue is listening to Taylor Swift and they're about to go crazy, they're all switching to that blue.
Right.
You know, and then somebody goes to Mo Bamba at the color red.
Right.
And like, oh shit, we got to switch to that. So it becomes more of like a cool party, like everybody's here. But it's such a good vibe, the Silent Disco.
Yeah, because everybody can dance or jam out to what they want.
Yeah.
And they might still be as excited as they are, even though the change of pace is different because one could be listening to something slow and be still hyped.
Yeah.
That's crazy because I actually did do a silent. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I did a silent disco one time in Vegas.
Yeah.
And like you can't hear anything with the music.
It's so weird, bro,
and, like,
because you go into the room and everybody's just twerking and dancing and stuff, and you don't hear nothing. It's like, what's wrong with these people?
Yeah, it's funny because you're just jumping around, and then you're just like, and then. But if you're not listening to it, you're like, yo, what is this guy doing?
Right.
Yo, it's so funny to watch.
It's so funny to watch, but it's honestly a lot of fun, bro. Like, you go in there with your headphones and you just have a good time. And then before you know it, your friends are vibing to the same thing. Or maybe that cool guy or cool girl in the corner is listening to one thing and you want to get on her vibe or his vibe.
Right.
You switch over there.
And then you just walk over and everything's silent. Yo, it's so crazy. Well, it's silent for y'all.
You're right.
Yeah.
And so what we got to do is we got to put on the headphones too, just to make sure like we can get the vibe that they're getting.
Right.
But one of the coolest things I found out as I was playing that nobody talks about is when you're in a setting like that in silent disco and you have multiple DJs, picking up the mic will make all the difference.
Right.
Because as soon as they see somebody talking on a mic right then and there, they're immediately going to switch over to you and say, what is he saying? What is he doing?
Right.
And so they want to hear everything. And before you know it, you can control a whole crowd that way.
Right.
Especially when you're competing with a couple other DJs or friends of yours. That's the easiest way to get them to come onto your channel.
Yo, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any like go-to phrases?
No.
What do you call yourself?
Just Diaz, yeah.
Just Diaz?
Yeah.
So you don't have any like go-to like, I don't know.
No, so one of my friends, he came out, this was Chan, DJ CO Groove. He just ended up calling it the Diaz effect one day. And so ever since then, the Diaz effect has been a thing. There's been some crazy times. There was this one girl, we were DJing over at Queen Park Social here in Charlotte. And for some reason, I don't know what happened with that girl, but one of my other female friends took a picture of her because she's standing outside. And either she had an accident or she was just sweating all over the place. But she had gray sweatpants. So all you see is all that sweat. And all they captioned it was the Diaz effect.
Yo, so, that's cool.
Bro,
that's funny.
So it goes far. Other than that, my sound drop is the Diaz. I don't know if you ever seen like Nate Diaz in the UFC.
I have.
Yeah, so the announcer always comes in with Diaz.
Oh, that's cool.
So
yeah.
every time there's a drop or anything like that, I use his soundbite.
Yeah,
so
that's
dun,
dope.
Dun, 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 Diaz, boom, 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 and it just goes crazy. So everybody has a good time when they hear that, for sure.
No, that's so sick.
Yeah.
When you're DJing at certain clubs, where are your most like booked events at?
Tiber Creek was definitely one of them. They just closed down the spot because they're gonna rebuild and build something else there. A high rise they're gonna put up there, and Tiber Creek is gonna come back to the bottom, but it's gonna be a couple years. But Slingshot is also another great spot where we play at. Gin Mill is always crazy, no matter what. It's in South End. Those are some of the bigger ones for sure.
So you would say those are the biggest ones in Charlotte?
Yeah, as far as Uptown and this area, Uptown South End, for sure.
So what would make them bigger? Is it like the amount of people? Oh, so the capacity of people that are allowed to enter.
But at the same time, like the crowd over at Gin Mill and Tiber is like no other.
Mm-hmm.
The energy is always there, bro. Like they will sing every single song. They will jump to every beat. They will scream everything they want. And of course, everybody has their phone up with Bad Bunny and all this stuff. So, like, they're all going to come up with a request, but it's always a good time at those places.
So, I was going to ask you about the request, but you kind of funneled your way into it.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to having people request what they want to hear, are you open to that? Or you're
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it, man, because a lot of times what happens is, like, the vibes in the room are going down. And before you know it, this person's going to have something like play Sexy Red or play Bad Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as you play it, in most cases, it works. Because, number one, they got like 5 girls with them. And all the girls want the same song. So they're immediately screaming at the top of their lungs when they hear Sexy Red or Bad Bunny.
Right.
And they automatically will go crazy. And everybody else feeds off of that.
Right, yeah, because energy.
Yeah. So I'm definitely open to requests and stuff like that. Sometimes some people get stupid with it, man, where they come up and all they want to do is request it or they demand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't come up to a DJ and be like, hey, you need to play
You
Momo.
need to play,
You
nah.
need to do it right now. And, like, another thing that's the most annoying that they do is, like, can you play Taylor Swift? I'm leaving in like 2 minutes, so can you make it next?
Yo. No, there's no way people are like. I mean, obviously, people are very inconsiderate.
Yeah, they are. And it's like, you don't go up to the bartender and tell him how to make your drinks, right?
Right.
Don't tell the DJ how to control the night. Because in most cases, like, we know what we're doing.
Right. I don't go into your job and tell you how to flip burgers.
Exactly, you know? Bro. But, like, I'm open to it. Like, cool, let's make it happen. But sometimes they want to come up with terrible requests.
Right.
Like, for example, a great artist that I usually hate getting requests for, Mac Miller. Great music, but it's so depressing at times, bro. And it's like, I'm over here at Pepa's and everybody's going, nah, going crazy. Mm-hmm. And then they want to go down to Mac Miller, Circles or something like that. And I was like, bro, you're going to kill all the vibes. And it's like, you feel bad for them because they really want to hear it. And then you got to see if you can remix it or have a remix of one of them. And then make it work that way. Other than that, bro, sometimes there's terrible ones.
Yeah, I'm sure because certain artists only have, like, just their genre's like the same most of the time. So I guess I can see that you don't want something really sad and depressing and to change. You know, then at that point you're changing the trajectory of the energy flow.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But they seem to do it like right as the energy's at its highest. Oh, can you come to something down like this? Can you play Lil Peep? I'm like, dude, it's like I love it. I love it, but it's not gonna work.
So when you're at a club. So what is it? That's a club, right?
Yeah.
So when you're
bars, pubs.
When you're at a club or a bar, is it just you for the entire night? How long are your hours?
So typically it's gonna be 4-hour gigs. Some places will do 5 hours, but yeah, most of them are just 4 hours. Yeah. Sometimes you'll come into bigger spots, or you'll travel different areas, and you have an opener for you, and at that point you just come in and do your 2 or 3 hours, or maybe just 1 hour and play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how often would you say you're booked?
Thankfully, right now I'm booked for the rest of the year. So all my weekends are taken up. I don't have any weekends off. That's all through 2429 and Boss Austin. He's the main DJ that runs it.
It's got to be gratifying.
Oh, of course, man. And, like, thankfully, like, a lot of the bars will ask for you constantly, and they will say, hey, can you send Diaz over to this spot, or can you send him to this spot? And so that right there will always help. Mm-hmm. You know, if the bar keeps asking for you, yeah, come on through. But more than anything, being with the collective, it always helps.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about traveling? Do you ever do any shows like outside of Charlotte, or
So last week I was just over at Texas A&M. I was over.
That's sick.
Yeah, bro. Yo. Like, I was over at Johnny Manziel's bar. So Johnny Manziel has a bar in Texas A&M. Yeah. It's called Johnny's Money Bar. Uh-huh. And bro, Texas A&M parties like no other.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Bro, they go hard over there. Like, they don't care, and they're so respectful. Like, when I moved over to Charlotte, everybody was like, oh, Southern hospitality and all that. It's fake here. Texas is the true definition of Southern hospitality.
Right, I like Texas. I'm from over there, so.
Oh, hell yeah. So, like, bro, they are such nice people over there, and everybody's so welcoming and everything. It's like, as soon as I got up there, I said, hey, thank you for coming to play at our bar and all this. It's like, hey, are you our new resident DJ? Can you stay here more? Like, can you come out with us to lunch tomorrow or whatever? Like, bro, they're so nice. So I love Texas for that.
So Texas would be your most favorite place to go and DJ?
So far it is, man. Like I said, I'm going back there probably next month again because they asked for us to come out. But at the same time, I was just at Columbia, South Carolina yesterday. We did Hidden City Music Festival. Mm-hmm. So Shaq was the headliner for that one. I was on the second stage for that.
Shaq, the basketball player?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yo,
so
I was thinking, but then I was like, wait, I don't want to ask that because I don't want to sound dumb, you know?
No, bro. Shaq is a ridiculously good DJ. Number one, he's been DJing since the 80s and 90s.
I did not know that.
Yeah, bro. He used to be a rapper too. But the thing, but the guy,
he don't even fit in the booth, bro.
Bro, he's huge. But the thing is, like, from time to time in the festivals, he will come off the booth and go party with the people down below. So he'll get in, and he's all about mosh pits.
Right.
So he'll call out the mosh pit and all that stuff, bro, and everybody's going crazy. But he's a heavy dubstep guy, or bass head, I guess you could say. So he's up there with Crank Dad and all those guys, you know, doom, 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 get in,
right.
And they go crazy. The lights and everything with Shaq on top of that, bro. And Shaq is an amazing performer. Like, when you see him on stage, it's another a whole nother level.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. Have you ever had any like bad experiences while traveling?
Not yet. I mean, as far as bad, I guess you could say it's bad. But for example, every time I have a notoriety now that every time I play in Albemarle, North Carolina, at this one bar, there's only one bar and the whole place is open till 2 a.m. Literally just one. And when they have me there, cops are always there at the end of the night. The end of the night, there's always cops because there's always fights.
Right.
So every time I come through there, the cops all stop me and they're like, so are you going to make us come out here tonight? I said, dude, I'm just playing music. He said, sometimes I go a little hard and stuff like that.
Right.
But, bro, every time I go there, there's always cops at the end of the night.
Okay. I mean, that's not really that negative. That's not really, I was thinking more so like bad experiences. Like, with film, I have to deal with certain people that are like, yo, change this, change that, change this. And I'm just like, bro, like you've been changing this for 6 months. When is it done?
Yeah, no. Thankfully, everywhere has been good, welcoming. You do get some of the places they're like, we want to stick to this format and this format only for music. So they only want you to play like white girl music, for example. Right. So you get a lot of that in certain places. But other than that, all good experiences so far.
Are there any places that you would love to work at? Like, so for me, I know good clubs, like just based off of artists that talk about them. So like Club Live in Miami, I like Omnia in Vegas. Omnia is probably my favorite. The Fountain Blue is brand new. I don't really like that place, but it's nice because they just finished building it. Because everybody says it's new, but it's been up. Just because the crash or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so Fountain Blue is nice. I like Omnia, and then what's that one in Hollywood? It's Delilah.
Yeah, Delilah's another big one. But dream ones for me is definitely Omnia. I guarantee myself, and this is just for me, I'll probably be there in 2 years. That's a good goal. Yeah, if I keep doing it, like I keep pushing, and I have the right people around me, I can make it there within 2. But it's just literally Omnia right now. District Atlanta looks really cool when you see everything there. Even in Charlotte locally, I want to try out World Nightclub. World looks cool. I got a bunch of buddies that play there. I just haven't pursued it to try to go play there. Mm-hmm. And then outside of the country, probably Ibiza. I like to go to Ibiza, just party one time.
Take a pill out there.
Exactly. Maybe take a pill, just make people go nuts, man, because they're about to party. And again, that's why I love Texas, because Texas was all about it. And granted, I was in College Station, right? So it's all college kids.
That's Austin, right?
Yeah. Well, right in between Austin and Houston. Like directly.
Okay, yeah, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to Austin in like a few weeks.
Oh hell yeah!
Not to party or anything. No, I love Austin. I'm from the West, which I'm from Arizona, so I've been to Texas a lot.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So no, Texas is always like welcoming.
Hell yeah! No, I love it.
And I forgot what I was gonna ask because that little what about? So you say so your team is the 2429.
Yeah, 2429.
So what is that comprised?
So there's about 8.
Or composed of?
Well, it's composed of right now 6 core DJs, and then the rest of them are gonna be like add-ons. Like the main 6 or 7 of us, we're always gonna have a gig, no matter what.
No matter what.
That's just because we're the core of it.
Right.
And then besides that, we have a lot of people that play for us that are that they have their own gigs and they have their own places that they normally play at. But then they come and play for us at a specific bar that wants them. Right. Good example is like Jay Good here in Charlotte. He always plays at Slingshot, but then he comes over, plays with us at like Gin Mill or Tiber Creek. Or we have Suds from Bulldog. Suds plays almost everywhere we play now. So a lot of good people, good names for sure.
Okay, no, it sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, because I like to travel. I mean, I like music. But I'm not really into like the party scene as much anymore unless I have like some VIP table because I don't want to be next to a bunch of sweaty people, bro.
That's my problem, and that's why I'm behind the booth. I'm separated. I'm away from everybody, and I control the party. Yeah, and like
it's a lot of responsibility.
It can be, but like the first couple times, it's scary. But after the 4th or 5th time you DJ, bro, it's a cakewalk.
Right.
Like if you.
I mean, that goes with anything. Once you're live and you're once you've put in the hours of practicing, the first time you go live with it, like you go like for me, if I were to film a wedding for my first time, I'm like sweating the whole time. I'm nervous. Like, what if I miss the kiss? Yeah. So there's a lot of like parameters.
For example, the first time I played at Slingshot, I had played a bunch of other places, but Slingshot, and if you guys don't know, Slingshot is like one of the bigger bars here in Charlotte, and there's about 700 to 800 kids every Friday and Saturday there. But
That's a lot of people.
Right, and so my first time going over there, that was my first big club to play at, and I was like, shit. I'm like, what do I do? I'm like, I started calling my mom, calling my sister before the show, calling my friends. I'm like, I'm about to go on. I'm very nervous and all this. After 30 minutes, all that goes away, man. Like, you go back to the roots and you realize, hey, I know what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, because sometimes there's things where, like, because if I haven't done it in a long time, like weddings, for example, I've only shot a handful of weddings, but like, even if I did like weddings or like this quinceañera that I just shot, I was like, I haven't shot one in forever. Like, what, you know? But I was like, nah, what do I think? I've been doing this for like 10 years, right? Or like, you know.
Exactly.
Man. Yeah, so I feel that. Going back to your roots, you know, you remember. So what about like your home life? So when you grew up, what about your parents?
So nobody in my family is musically inclined at all. Both my parents growing up, they were movie theater managers in New York City. Me being born in New York, we were in the movie theaters. We grew up every day watching movies.
Oh, like movies, not like the drama.
Yeah,
like
no.
not the like Broadway
an actual
shows.
cinema. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, both of them were movie theater managers in New York, and then we ended up moving to Puerto Rico because the movie theater company was expanding to Puerto Rico. So it was funny because like growing up, I didn't understand why my friends hadn't seen this movie or that movie. And I realized, they have to pay for all these. They got to pay $10, $15 to go buy a movie ticket.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah, now it's mad pricey.
Oh, yeah, so expensive
way back then, because we're kind of around the same age. I mean, you're a few years older than me.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I remember going to the movies, dollar movies. They used to have dollar movies.
Yeah. There was one that was really cool here in Matthews, too. But, yeah, the dollar movie theaters, they're gone now, I think.
Yeah, I remember Blockbuster and like Movie Gallery and Hollywood Video and
those are definitely things that I wish was still kind of there a little bit, you know, just to go pick up a movie or just go walk around, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
Nobody's outside. So like back in our day, we're not that old,
right?
But like, you know, like when we were like growing up, we were a lot more like I guess we were outside more.
Yeah,
we were outside.
Didn't have Fortnite and iPads.
Yeah, so the screens.
Yeah, man.
And so like back then when we had to like go rent games, you would rent like video games from like Blockbuster. Like Walmart used to have like a renting station, and like you could even go play the game on the Walmart thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, like back. Yeah, nobody understands.
No, they don't, bro.
So when you were growing up, like with your family, your parents are still together.
Yeah,
to this day.
Yeah.
And when you were growing up, and you didn't want to. So not when you didn't want to. So when you realized you wanted to be DJ and stuff, what did your parents say?
My mom was like, "Oh, why are you doing that? You're educated and all this stuff." I'm like, "Mom, I'm already tired of all this stuff." Like, I was an engineer for 10 years, answering the same question over and over, getting the same call from a bunch of people with the same issue. And it's like, I'm over it. Like, I wanted to do something else. And music was always there. They knew I loved music. They always knew that this was always going to be some type of a progression towards it. And, DJing was just the next step. You know, if you're not going to make it as a musician, like going into, being a DJ or producing your own music that way, there's a lot of creativity behind DJing. So a lot of people think...
Well, it's an art. It's an art form. It's a form of art.
And, like, a lot of people think, oh, you're just pressing a play button. No, there's a lot that goes into it.
Right.
Like, we have to know what song goes with what, you know, or being able to use this
the transitions
beat.
between transitions. They can't be hard.
Being able to use this beat with these vocals and make sure they mesh correctly, or making sure that you don't cut the transition over too early or too late. So there's a lot that goes into it, and at that point, that's where a lot of people wouldn't consider us producers, but I tell people, I'm like, dude, we're producing up there. We're creating new things. You know, we're not hitting play on an iPod and let it play out.
Yeah, a lot of people really overlook what it really takes to be as prominent as you are. Yeah. That goes for like anybody, like speaking in generality.
Yeah.
So it's like for film, for music, making music, DJ, anything really that takes a high caliber of training. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh, it's just this. Bro, it's not. Like, you just press a button to shoot. Yeah. All you're doing is pressing record. Bro, I look at people's stories where they post their camera and then like subject and their settings are all wrong.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, bro, like if they only like, bro, It drives me insane. It drives me insane.
Exactly.
So with you, and you would say you're a high quality DJ.
For sure.
So when booking with you, how do they choose you over the next guy? What separates you between the next?
The best way I would tell people, bro, is like just come out to the bar, see the vibes, see what goes on.
Come experience it for yourself.
Experience it. Come see the Diaz effect, I guess you could say. Right?
Yo, you're gonna be drenched after.
For real. For real, bro. But anytime there's anything like that or a crowd, that's why I said my friend usually comes out. He's like, "It's the Diaz effect." He's screaming it all over the place, and it's like it's fun.
No, that's cool. So and so as far as like the other, would you consider it competition? Because I don't really look at other people as competition. I look at them more as like colleagues.
We are colleagues, but there's a lot of jealousy also.
Yeah, so jealousy is what separates the people who are envious. You know,
right?
I feel like it's not more so of like jealousy. They're more so of like discouraged because when I first started this film stuff, I would always like be in my room doing like my YouTube stuff, finding the people that I was like, oh, I like their stuff kind of inspires me. Like, yo, their stuff's cool. And I was just like pondering, when am I going to get this equipment? They have all the money, you know? But then now, fast forward like 5 years later, now that I've been doing it full time for 3 years, I'm just like, you know, like if I would have stopped,
right?
You know, I look back all the time. So like when you first started with you had obviously it was small,
board, little tiny board.
So like looking back, then did you ever have any like discouragements?
Yeah, at first for sure. Like you would see all these other DJs, they had $1,000 boards.
Yeah, so that's probably what the jealous. Were you ever like jealous of someone? Did you ever like compare yourself like, oh, I'm never gonna be there? Or
no, not really jealous. It was more the fact that it's kind of like you. It's like, when do I get to have the $5,000 board or
like the $5,000 camera?
Exactly, and it's like you get to see all these toys, but then you realize as you're playing more and more, just like the camera, that you can make a lot happen with that $300 board.
If you know how to use it.
If
you master your craft. Yeah, because I always tell these kids, like, oh, I want the new Why? Right. Why do you want the new camera? But, because it shoots this. Okay. Aside from just that, that's the basic technical specifications. Yeah. So I always tell them, like, okay, well, do you know what this is? They're like, no. Okay, so what? Exactly. Oh, but I get the quality. Bro, you get the quality if you master your craft, you know, like.
Well, I have a lot of people that come up and they're like, oh, so I want to get into DJing. What board should I get? I'm like, bro, go here, go to Guitar Center, get yourself a $300 board. Don't buy more than that. Practice that. Have fun with it. Mm-hmm. Like, no, I want to get a board like you. I said, why? Why are you going to spend $1,000, $2,000? Right. Like, start low.
Because then what if you don't even like it?
Right. See if you like it. Go from there and then decide. And a lot of times they go into it and they're like, oh, I need to upgrade immediately.
Right.
Like, bro, again, stick to where you're at.
Master your craft. Practice. Yeah.
I said, if you want to, I'll take you to the club with me and I'll use the $300 board for the night. I will show you that it does the same thing. It's just like a car. They're both going to drive places. They're both going to get you from point A to B.
And anywhere in between.
One has more bells and whistles than the other.
Right.
You know,
you don't even use them all unless like it's just certain environments call for certain like techniques.
Right.
So I always tell people that when they're like, because a lot of people ask me like, yo, what should I buy? I'm like, bro, it depends on your budget, but this is like, go here. Yeah. Oh, but these guys have, bro. Why are you comparing yourself? Yeah. So I could see that would be the common denominator between like jealousy and like colleagues, because I really don't feel, some people might have a little bit of like they might be a little bit vitriolic towards someone who's more successful than them.
Right.
However, I feel like it's more so because they're envious.
Of course, envious, and your attitude goes a long way with it, man. If you're going around telling people that this guy sucks or that guy's terrible and this guy does crap, you're not gonna get anywhere. Right. You're making enemies from the beginning.
Right.
You know, and if you're humble, you humble yourself, you get around people. One of the biggest things I tell all my friends, I'm like, bro, it's just like being a celebrity.
Right.
Like, you have to go and show face. People have to see you here at this club. They got to see you there. Go out. Let people know who you are before you can even go into a club and say, hey, I want to play here.
Right.
They don't even know you. They don't know what you're about. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, they got to see like your catalog, your portfolio.
Exactly. So people start seeing you consistently out there, and they know, oh, that's DJ Diaz. You know, oh, okay, so what are we missing? Social media is a huge thing with DJs right now.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
I wanted to get into social media too,
yeah.
but you brought it up, so go ahead.
My biggest thing with social media is like anywhere you're playing, and I tell this to all the DJs, anywhere you're playing, post it. Tell people about it. Doesn't matter if you're somebody's backyard. You're doing a birthday party in somebody's backyard, doing a private event in Charlotte.
Post it.
That's all you have to do. Private event in Charlotte. You don't have to tell nobody more. It's the fact that they know you're working.
That you're getting booked. Yeah.
You're getting booked.
Yeah,
you're
because
working.
you get more engagement when people actually see you doing something.
Exactly.
That's like my issue. Like sometimes I feel because I know for a fact that if I posted more, especially if I posted more with like my brand, which is my face, I'll probably get more engagement. I'll probably get more bookings.
Yeah, you.
But I'm trying to like, timing is everything for me.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like do it in a way where I build the foundation.
Yeah.
So now if this doesn't work, I have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
posting on social media.
When people see you're busy though, they're all gonna ask, "What are we missing?
Right.
Why haven't we got him here?"
Right.
You know, especially like photography for you guys or video.
Well, I don't take photos.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, you get.
No,
or
you know,
video stuff. Also, it's like when people see you shooting everywhere, they're gonna say, "Oh, why haven't we?"
Yeah,
got
a lot
him
of
here?
people are always like, "Yo, why are you traveling so much, bro?" They book me
Right.
because I actually make more. I actually make more money and more clients and relationships
Yeah.
out of state. It's
Yeah.
just easier for me.
Right. Is that a confidence thing on your side, or what? Why do you think that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like in Charlotte, like I don't know. They always like, "Oh well, I got someone."
Yeah.
Well, you're someone. I'm that guy. I'll be like, "Oh well, your someone isn't high quality." You know, I don't like when you said be humble. I was gonna be like, "Yo, I don't
It's
like that
different
word."
in video and photography. Like for you guys in cameras, you constantly have to fight for a shot.
Yeah. So yeah,
know?
because what's also oversaturated.
It's so.
Would you say the DJ world is oversaturated?
No, man.
I might have to switch.
Like yes, there's a lot of people that come up and they want to tell you they're DJs and all this stuff, but it's just one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people I think are making is that they want to stick to one genre and one genre only.
Right.
So when you're an open format DJ, you fit in so many places.
Right.
But then on top of that, your brand has a lot to do with it, right?
Mhm.
Like let's say your name is DJ Sweet and Sour. No corporate event is gonna hire you to play their stuff, you know?
Right.
DJ Sweet and Sour is here. Like, no, like, you know, stuff like that. And like you try to help them and then they want to put 17 periods in their name or something like that or underscore.
Right.
It's like, bro, you're making it hard.
Less
for
is
people to
more.
find it. Yeah.
Less is more. Simplicity is the key to brilliance.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know if you're familiar with Diamond Supply. That was like his like slogan. Simplicity is the key to brilliance. And you know, thinking back when I first saw it on one of his rugs and his blanket, I was like, you know, it resonated with me. And then that's when like I kind of made the shift of like, because I used to like want to skate and I never wanted to work.
Yeah.
So like being that you're like an entrepreneur like myself,
Yeah.
the times have changed. So everything's on social media, everything's on TikTok, everything's on Instagram. So as like with the TikTok stuff and like the DJs that they be posting, what does that like? What do you think about all that?
That's where the
Honestly.
that's where I guess that's where I'm not so humble, because you see a lot of these people, they'll take a 7-second video of literally one transition that they made that sounded cool, and it gets 10 million views.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, show me how do you actually DJ? Show me the rest of it.
Yeah. See, and that's like it's just shortcuts.
Yeah.
And for me, with like so for me, since I went to film school.
Yeah.
I'm a cinematographer, not a videographer.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between someone who holds a camera and someone who operates a camera.
Yes.
So with me, whenever I see people using plugins or LUTs or anything that takes away from the work ethic, because you know you have to master it.
Yes.
Like with you have a whole a flow of composition to like, you know, you have to make sure it flows properly.
Fits,
you know,
exactly.
so. Whenever I see like the shortcuts on TikTok and
it drives
Instagram,
me
they're like, "Oh,
crazy.
you're just hating because they're better." I'm like, "Bro, they're not better. They're doing basic shit.
They are.
Everything is like super basic and it
Super
requires
basic.
no skill. That's why they're only posting this
7
much
seconds,
because like
exactly.
with like the film and stuff with the cars, they do those fast transitions with the with like the logo flips. But at the end of the day, shouts out to the guy who originally started it.
Yeah.
But he's the one banking off of all these kids
Yeah.
buying his plugins, which is
Exactly.
cool. Like, go get your bread. But it's like now it's cookie cutter. It's copy and paste. Everybody's the same. There's no style.
Exactly.
You know, you have to have your own style.
That's why I like to see better the streamers Like this is as far as DJing. I'd rather see the streamers doing their thing and playing and doing like showing me their craft versus that guy that's posting a 10-second video of one transition
Right.
that sounded really cool and blew up.
Like Big Whoop. Yeah. So yeah, I feel you. And then they get all these brand deals.
They do, bro, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, and I refuse to follow trends.
Right.
I want to be original. That's the only way that's the only way to keep art alive.
See, and then for us it's different. Like we have to keep up with TikTok and stuff like that.
You have to, right.
Like we got to keep up with the TikTok billboards. Like if there's a song that's blowing up on TikTok.
Well, that's different. You're not making content based off of trends.
Yeah,
That's the type of trend. Like sometimes it's like a trending song that I'll use.
Yeah.
But I try to just like find my song, make it more organic because I don't want someone to be like, oh, well, you like, that's like, I hate being told I copy people, which I don't.
Yeah.
I never get that. But, it's just, I don't want to ever be told, oh, you sound like this guy. Your videos look, nah.
And
my videos or my movies look like me.
DJ community too, bro.
Oh, like, you sound like him. Yeah.
There was one day I was playing for a group of friends of mine, like in the service industry. And I went on this whole R&B thing. Like I was just playing some random tracks. And I remember I put 2 songs back to back that another friend of mine always plays together. I didn't think nothing of it. And one kid came out drunk. He's like, "Are you playing his playlist?" I said, "No, I'm playing myself. I just played these 2 songs. They're not his. They're mine." Like, it was so weird. And, like, they try to compare you immediately. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm my own person. Like, I do my own thing. I have no care to follow what somebody else is doing.
Right.
Like, I've made my own success in doing my own thing as DJ-wise here in Charlotte and a couple other places. Breakaway gave me a shot and did all this stuff. So I built what I have.
Right. Yeah, you built an empire, but you have to start from the ground.
Exactly.
A lot of people, like we were saying a minute ago, they want the most expensive stuff and they skip the fundamental. So 9 times out of 10, it's when they get the big job. They don't know what to do, and that's when they really humble themselves. I don't really believe in being humble because you can't really chase mastery in a humble way.
Right.
Now, if you're amongst other people who have a higher status than you, then you could be more level-headed. I don't believe in being humble. I believe in like, okay, cool, like these guys are successful. I could learn from them. That's not really, to me, that's not being humble. It's being more of
and
like.
For me, it's more of the fact, like, you go into a room and everybody's over here trying to tell them how good they are. I let my work talk for me.
Right. And so if someone tells me that too, like, oh, your work is great. Okay, cool, thanks. That's when being humble is like, not like, oh, I know.
Yeah.
No, that's when like humble comes into play.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you should be carrying yourself as the best that you can be, because if you don't think you're the best, you never will be.
Right.
So I'm real big on.
But also, there's a lot of DJs out there that I have a lot of respect for, even in the Charlotte community.
Well, respect is different than worshiping someone and idolizing someone. You never want to put someone on a pedestal.
Right.
And that's what a lot of these kids do. They'll idolize rappers. They'll idolize anything, really.
Right.
So when you are doing that, respecting people, it goes a lot further, because high successful artists or any type of success, they just want to be respected. They don't want to be like fanboyed and like if I ran into famous people, I would try my best, like depending on the caliber of their status. Like Drake, for example. If I ran into Drake, I'd probably like a little bit, but I'd have to like calm down and but other than that, respect is
I lost
where it needs
that
to be.
Whole what do they call it?
Starstruck. Yeah, when you're starstruck,
there was one day I was working in the call center, and I'm a big New York Giants fan, right, football-wise. And I know, we can laugh now, I get it. But
no, it's cool because, bro, I've been there. We all have.
Yeah, but no, the thing was, I was on the phone, and Plaxico Burress, wide receiver for the New York Giants, called in. And, like, I was like, is this really Plaxico? And he goes, yeah. And then he gave me, like, his pin and all that stuff. It matched all his numbers and all that, like, his jersey numbers. And I was like, oh, shit, this is really Plaxico. Bro, I'm a really big fan. He goes, cool, man. And I was like, damn. I just looked like a little asshole.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? It helped me. I learned a lot from that.
And at least it wasn't in person.
Right.
At least he doesn't know what you look like.
Right. I'm still a huge fan of the guy. But it was just more of, I learned that's not the way you handle that.
Right.
You know, and then when you meet certain people, cool, what's up? Good
Yeah,
to
you
meet
got to kind of act and play the part. Like, if you've never been there, you have to pretend like you've been there and not be excited, because if you get all excited, think like, yo, who is this guy? Why is he acting like that? Yep. Then that just shows you don't fit into the crowd. Like,
Correct.
you know, we're 51 floors up. I'm not like crazy excited about it, but people who haven't been this high, I wouldn't want to bring them around because it's going to make me look bad. You know, I don't want them. They have to like know, yo, we've been there before. Like, same thing with like private jets. If you've never been on a private jet, you better act like you've been on one. Right. Because if not, they're gonna be like, yo, who is this guy? Get him out of. You know, it's just like weird. You have to fit in. Yeah. You have to play the part.
You always have to. And then for DJs, like, that's a whole nother thing. Like, we have to create a different persona. Like, that's why one of the things I tell a lot of people that I meet, everybody gets to know Diaz. Not everybody gets to know Joe.
Everybody has their separate personality. Like last night, this girl was like, "Oh, you have two different bro. There's Clean Bean. There's my real name, which nobody knows. Shay don't even know. Okay. You know, so it's like, and then there's like Beans. I have so many different like on YouTube. I got like behind the scenes with Bean. I got like come get your boot smoked, and every personality for every different genre of content that I make. Yeah. My demeanor is different. Yeah, it's like for this, it's super professional. It's the same with like you. When you go out and DJing, you have to fit that persona. And then when you're in a room full of like rich entrepreneurs and CEOs, you gotta like, you know, your demeanor is different everywhere you go, and you have to be able to do that. If you can't, then.
And one thing a lot of people don't realize is a lot of us DJs are very introverted. Like, that's why we're in the corner of the room. That's why we're controlling as much as we can, because we're not that person. Right. And a lot of us have to step out, and we have to be like, hey, it's Friday night at Slingshot, blah, blah, blah. Go crazy and do all this stuff and scream and all that. And all these people see that, and they see all that energy that you're putting out there, and they think that's you 24/7. Right. And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that. I like to sit at home, play a little guitar. You know, sometimes I like to sit back,
relax,
smoke a cigar.
Yeah, I love cigars. We're going to have to smoke one sometime, bro.
We should have thought about that, too. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I love cigars. I usually have sparkling water and cigars. When I'm outside, it's definitely cigars and sparkling water. And I kind of force the person. What's your favorite cigar? I like right now. I'm using Ashton's. I'm still new, and I had an Arturo Fuentes when I was in Vegas a few weeks ago, and it was good. And I drink it. I don't like whiskey. I like tequila. Yeah. I'm not a big. I don't drink because I'm really into fitness and bodybuilding. Into beer. I don't like beer, but I'll drink liquor. But I only drink tequila because it's good for your gut health and the agave. There's a bunch of benefits that I could like go over. But
whiskey for me for sure, and then cigar wise, Jose Padrones.
I'm still so new. I've only smoked like 3 cigars, and I can still barely finish them, bro.
So every year on my birthday, I go to the cigar spot. I usually go over to Tinderbox over in South Park. Okay. Love that spot. It's very chill. It's very small, and it's easy. Like, it's a bunch of old dudes in the back that don't give a shit about what you're doing. They're rich as hell. They just in their thing, and I'm like, cool. I'm just here. But I go in every year on my birthday, and I buy the most expensive cigar out there.
How much does it cost?
Probably $30-$40 for one stick.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Yeah, because a lot of people be like, oh, Cubans. Right, I love cigars so much, and it's been something that I've been picking up on because of the people that I've been around. You know, you kind of have, like I said, you have to fit the part, bro. You have to, And if someone hands you a cigar, you better smoke it, because if you tell them no, they gonna be like, yo, what are you doing here? I know. Like, I like cigars and sparkling water. Those are like my thing, because I don't drink.
Water I can't do.
Really?
No, the bubbles and stuff will just make you.
Oh no, get out of here.
No, but going back to like, you have to smoke it. It's funny because there was one time we were doing a show with Waka Flocka, right? Uh-huh. And Waka's out back, and at the time, I had never smoked weed or anything like that. And we're all smoking.
Oh, no.
Everybody's out back behind the club. Like, we were just finished. And Waka's over here smoking weed, and he's passing it all over. And I was like, God, I hope it doesn't get to me, because like if it comes to me, I have to smoke. It's Waka. You know, it's like if Snoop or somebody like that did it. And I'm like, God, and it's coming to me. It's coming. Somebody holds it in front of me, and I go like this. And I was acting like I was looking at somebody else, and Walker then reaches over and grabs it, and then he smokes it. So I was like, okay, good. I passed. Like,
because I don't smoke weed either. So, but I'm not. I have smoked weed. Have you ever smoked?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Now
see,
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't like it. So
I like more of the edibles.
I would have done the same thing. I would have like kind of like because it's just weed. I mean, since I have
It's not a
smoked
bad
before,
thing.
I'll take like a hit,
right.
but just
It's not a bad thing, but when I told my mother about it, my mom goes, "Oh no, you just should have said no." I said, "Ma, you gotta understand my mom's Spanish and all that." But I was telling her, I said, "Ma, it's like imagine you were out there and Jesus told you smoke this." It's like you can't just tell Jesus no,
right?
You know?
You have to.
So my mom just goes, "No, Jesus would understand. You just tell him no, thank you, Jesus. I don't want to smoke it."
Yeah, nah. It doesn't work like that. A lot of people are, well, that's peer pressure. No, it's not peer pressure,
not
bro.
Peer pressure. It's just
it's not like they're giving you like cocaine or they're giving you drugs.
Yeah.
It's
First
cigars.
of all, he wants you to be part of his vibe at that moment.
Yeah.
And it's like
it's inviting.
Yeah, it's like why would you disrespect the guy first of all? And two, he's cool as fuck. It's Waka Flocka,
right?
You know? And yeah, thankfully I dodged that bullet. But that was a funny time.
No, that's hilarious. I could like picture it now. Cause I would be the same way. Just because I don't smoke weed.
Yeah.
If it was liquor, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
But I try not to drink at all. I don't like it anymore. That party phase is for me. Like I said, I have to be behind the booth with the DJ or at a table, bro.
Bro, and that's the thing. It's like everybody wants to hand you shots and shots.
And you drink for free.
Yeah, we drink for free, but it's like, sometimes it's so difficult, man.
Yeah.
It's like you're in there, and all of a sudden, somebody's bringing one shot. You got a second shot. Last night, I think they gave me at least 12 shots before I was done. And I was like, bro, and like it's so many different people and so many like I was at a high-end spot here that I play at, and they keep giving you all the stuff. But again, that networking thing, you don't want to disrespect the guy that's giving you a nice shot and all that stuff. So, oh, thanks, bye, you take it.
Does it hinder your ability to perform?
Once I know I'm at a point, I say, hell no. Like, I don't even care at that point.
Right.
One thing you will not catch me is lacking. Like, you're not going to catch me looking like a full DJ.
Yeah, I did a Vietnamese wedding reception.
Yeah.
They already had someone for like the actual like the ceremony part, but I went to a reception and it was Vietnamese people, bro. Those dudes go hard.
Yeah.
Bro. He was like, yo, drink as much as you want, have as much fun as you want. I was like, nah, I'm gonna chill.
Right.
And I ended up I was finished. He's like, all right, cool, you're good. Because he just wanted to, like, just to get the dance or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, you're good. And I was like, all right. So I put my rig down. I put everything down. I started just slamming shots, bro. Dunzos. Like, dude had to, like, carry me out of his club. And I threw up all over his Louis V suit.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
It was bad.
Did you have to pay for it?
No, he was like, yo, you were so messed up. Yo, there's, like, videos of me on the street. Like, this video. No, and, like, I don't do that anymore. That was the last time I got that messed up. And I honestly think someone may have put something in my drink.
Oh, shit.
Because I blacked out. The last thing I remember was me going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Me coming out. Like, I don't remember walking there or inside.
Damn.
And then the last thing I remember, the last thing I remember was some girl was like, "Here, do you want my drink?" And that was the only time I drank something that was not from my own hand.
Oh, shit.
And that was after that.
And it was probably meant for her.
Yeah, it was probably meant for her.
Damn.
Yeah, and like I blacked out. I just remember walking to the bathroom, bro, and then I came out, and then security was like, "Come with me," and I was like, "Oh shit!" So they took me outside, and then the owner, because the owner was the owner of the owner of the club was the guy I did the wedding for, and he was like, he was just like, "No, he's with me," and then they took me outside and just passing. I was going in and out, bro.
Holy shit.
They had to call my ride for me, bro. Yeah, it was bad.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
bro.
it was bad. Good thing they like had my back, and then he texted me like, "Yo, you were so faded. How are you feeling?" They weren't like mad, bro. I was like, damn, I ruined, but nah. They were like, you ready for rounds? I was like, no, yo. I'm good.
As soon as you think you ruined everything, is when it went right.
Yeah, they were like, yo, yeah. It was. They still paid me my price and everything, bro. So, nah.
Yeah, that's how it happens for us, man. But sometimes it's like it's.
But I had
much.
to wait till I was done working.
Yeah.
You know, because if that would have happened while I was working.
Yeah, no, I'll never do it before a show, and I'll never do it like during. I don't care for, especially like edibles or anything like that. Like a lot of these DJs, they'll take like a microdose or something, and then they can perform. I'm like, bro, I don't want anything to mess up my set.
Right.
Like I'm so much of a perfectionist when I'm playing that. One time I had told one of my DJ friends, I look up to him. His name's Boss Austin here in Charlotte, but I was like, man, I really beat myself up when I mess up or something. He said, you can't do that.
Right.
It's like you just gotta keep playing. Half the time, people don't notice it because they don't know music like we do.
Right.
So you gotta act like everything's right and keep going.
You have to.
Yeah, and it's all about the recovery, and I've always learned that it's 100% about the recovery, and not what's going on.
Right.
Like you can mess up
because they don't know what's going on. Yeah. Same with like the filming. They don't know.
Right.
Like just last week at the quinceañera, they were doing like the father-daughter dance, and I usually make that one solid clip.
Yeah.
But when I was filming it, the rig kind of like I don't know what happens, but sometimes like it'll like lose balance and it'll just
start tilting.
Yeah, it'll just start tilting and it won't like pick back up with the mechanics.
Oh no.
So I was like, okay, cool. So I put it down, turn it back off, turn it back on. I was like, all right, whatever. I recovered. Nobody knew.
Right.
Like nobody knows.
Right.
But I was like, damn. Now
but
they're not
if
gonna
you sit there and you're trying to say, shit, what do I do now and all that. That's when you mess up.
Yeah, so I was like, nah,
I
I walked away for no one could really see. I turned it off, turned it back on, just went on with my day. They just don't get the full clip of them. Because I usually give like the full clip of the whole dance. But it's all good. Yeah. They'll live.
Everything
else is going to be so beautiful.
So everybody's used to this short form now that nobody wants to even sit for a minute-long video.
Dude, and I hate that because I like long form. I always tell people, stop shooting vertical, stop this, stop that.
Yeah.
So I feel you on that. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But what about AI? Do you think AI will change the dynamics of DJing?
So here's the thing, man. So much has changed over the years with DJing, from records to like digital libraries and all that. On top of that, you have sync buttons. So these boards will do a lot for you. Like a lot of DJs here, they'll rely on sync, for example.
Right.
Sync is where you take two songs and you take the BPM from this one and match it to that one.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the cases, you have to use a slider.
Right.
We use a tempo slider to make sure it matches.
Right.
So part of beat matching. But some people will just push a button and it's done. And I'm like, bro, you're really just hindering yourself. Like, what happens when you don't have that sync button?
Right.
So when it goes back to AI, I think it's gonna be part of like whatever growth there is. For example, right now we use a lot of stems. Stems is where I can literally take a song, only have the vocals or only have the beat.
Right.
You know, and it's all done right then and there. Some people hate it. For me, that's a big thing because it makes my transition seamless.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
seamless transitions are always best.
And I pride myself on that. And yeah, some people don't like it. But I think if AI does come into DJing, I think it's going to be welcomed. It's just part of it. There's going to be people that are still the old school and they want to stay on this. Cool, man. Do your thing.
Right.
But if you adapt to the newer things, it's only going to make you better.
Right. So going back to your 18-year-old self, is there any advice you would tell yourself from right now, going back 15 years, what would you tell your younger self at 18?
Don't worry about so much trying to go big. You know, and what I mean by that is a lot of people want you to focus on a traditional route for stuff.
Right.
They want you to go to school. They want you to do this.
Right.
They want you to do what everybody else does.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but
right, nothing wrong with it. But in my
find your own
opinion, it's
happiness.
like, bro, you can be happy doing anything, and a lot of people don't realize that even as a bartender, you can make so much more money than a lot of people in these offices, and they don't spend $1 in education. So looking back, just bro, go with what you like. You love music, go into music. You love photography, go into photography.
Right.
Don't listen to what everybody else says.
Right. Yeah. You have to. As long as you have the passion for it, I say chase it. A lot of kids lack the passion. They just want the clout.
Yeah.
I hate that word clout, but they just want the fame and the fortune. And it doesn't come that way. It comes by obsessing with your talent and hard work. Hard work beats talent.
Yeah.
However, if you have them both, then you'll be unstoppable.
At 18 years old, you got all the time to put 10,000 hours in.
For sure. A lot of people overlook the behind the scenes.
Of course, bro. You
like
don't
what
have to
it
worry
takes
about
to
a
get
lot of stuff. You don't have to worry about paying rent. You don't have to worry about this. Like with DJing, like if we're not working or we're not a club, we don't get paid. Right. Especially if you're a full-time DJ, like that's your income.
Right. What about any catastrophic events that have caused you to feel inferior and not want to continue with your DJing?
I haven't had anything that made me want to quit, but there was one time I was playing at a hookah lounge, and it destroyed my night because we spent a lot of money on our equipment, right? We have probably about $5,000 worth of equipment when we're setting up there. Same thing with you.
Yeah, we're shooting with like 10 grand right now.
Exactly. So people disregard that and they think, oh, it's just a camera or it's just a board, it's just a laptop, and they don't realize what really went into this or how hard we worked to get to that. And so I'm at this hookah lounge, and all of a sudden, like, the DJs that were allowed to smoke hookah while we're playing and all that. So this girl, she just disregarded everything around me and slams the bathroom door that's right next to the DJ booth right against my table. Knocked over the hookah right on top of my board. My board was covered in hookah water. There was a coal on top of one of my things that I smacked off immediately. But, bro, I had to hold my board sideways, and the water was leaking out of it. And I just felt like crying immediately. I was like, bro, like, why would you? And she just walked away. She didn't give a shit.
Of course.
At all.
Yeah, people don't really respect what's not theirs.
No, bro, they don't. And she just walked away. She didn't give a fuck. And, like, the music kept playing. I was so mad I hit pause. I'm not doing anything until somebody gets me a towel. We're going to fix this stuff right now because this is crazy. It was just a disrespect on her part more than anything.
Did you call her out?
She just went to the table. She just slid there with her friends, and then she just kept shrugging and doing this. And all her friends saw that I was looking at her, and all the employees were pointing at her and everything. She didn't do nothing. Like, even if you're not going to pay for it,
at least apologize.
If you would have said, hey, dude, I'm really sorry about what happened. Like, I really didn't mean that. There's one thing, that shit will go so much further. But it's the fact that she didn't give a fuck and she just kept shrugging everything off.
Right. Even if I accidentally, like, when I'm filming, like, in the fitness center.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of have to be real, like, have spatial awareness.
Yeah.
And, like, if I accidentally, like, bump into someone, I'll be like, yo, my bad. Yo, you're good.
Right.
It's just that respect that you're giving them. Like, yo, my bad. Yeah, bro. It's common courtesy.
Yeah.
A lot of people lack mannerisms nowadays,
bro. It's fucking stupid.
It's insane.
Yeah.
What do you have planned for the rest of the year? What are your goals to finish it off?
So goals is definitely travel more. I had always said, and one of the things that I've strived with DJing is I'm very specific about things that I do every year. I do set my goals up like you asked. But I always said from the beginning, year 3 is when I start moving out, where I start going to different places for exposure.
Right.
Like going over to Texas, going to Colombia. This summer I'm going on an actual tour with Lil Man J. He's a local rapper here in Charlotte. Right. But we're doing a whole Midwest tour. So we're doing literally 7 states in 8 days, which is a mini tour and stuff like that. But
that's cool. It's
more the fact that this summer I'll touch about 10 states altogether. So getting out, getting that exposure, that's
branching out.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That seems like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And that's this summer? What about towards the end of the year?
End of the year, probably start hopefully getting to Vegas. Yeah, that's one of the
I'll be there.
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Vegas is my favorite place in the whole wide world, bro. So we're gonna have to like work together. I'll pull up to one of your sets. I'll make you a little
reel or two.
Yeah, I'll make you a few commercials.
That'd be dope, bro.
What do you do for promotion? How can someone get a hold of you?
Literally just Instagram is the easiest way. It's at DJ Joe Diaz, TheJoeDiaz. But it's literally just the easiest way. I do all my reels and everything. A lot of my flyers and everything I do it myself. So pretty quick and easy, bro.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude today's episode.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to tell them?
Nah, man, that was pretty much it. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Welcome back anytime.
Yo, the view is cool.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
We're at the view.
We're at the view. But no, like the view is cool. It's a change of scenery. I like being mobile.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your time.
Sure,
there's nothing else you need from me?
No, that's it, bro.
All right, guys. So you heard it here first. The Diaz Effect live here in Charlotte every weekend until the end of the year. You can find them at all the top clubs here in Charlotte. Go ahead and check them out on Instagram at the Joe Diaz. And if you'd like to see anyone here, anyone that you would like to think of, that you know of, I can get a hold of anybody. It'll just take me a little bit of time. But as far as that, we appreciate your time. Thank you for checking out the pod. And remember to like, share, subscribe. And we'll see y'all next time on the next episode of The Bean Dip.
See you guys.
Perfect.